Hey everybody, how's it going? Travel Man Dan here, and welcome to this week's episode of Reading Man Dan. Yep, this is the 7th episode of the 2020 Vlogmas series that I'm putting out, where I go ahead and read you a Christmas story each and every day throughout the month of December. And, well, you could probably already guess what I'll be reading today. So, please, get ready as I read you Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. It's going to be a fun show. Sit back, relax, and let's go. Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by this episode. Really appreciate your support. If you haven't already, be sure to go ahead and hit that sub button right there. Ring the bell so that you're notified when new episodes come out every week. Give me a like, drop a comment down below. Let me know what you like about this video, or if you can suggest a book for Reading Man Dan to read. Now, if you've seen any of my other episodes, you know I'm a huge Dr. Seuss fan. If you haven't, I'll go ahead and throw those up there right now. But I absolutely love Dr. Seuss. His work is incredible. It is ingrained in every child here in the United States. We're fulfilled with all the great stories. His imagination is amazing. And well, this is one of his most classic books, but definitely the most famous holiday Dr. Seuss book. And How the Grinch Stole Christmas is such a great story. It's been made into a movie several times. So, sit back and let's get started. How the Grinch Stole Christmas by Dr. Seuss. For Teddy Owens. Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot. Check it out, it's a Who. But the Grinch, who lived just north of Whoville, did not. The Grinch hated Christmas, the whole Christmas season. Now please, don't ask why. No one quite knows the reason. It could be his head wasn't screwed on just right. It could be, perhaps, that his shoes were too tight. But I think that the most likely reason of all may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small. Look at the Grinch, hanging out. He lives just north of Whoville, and he does not look happy. He hates Christmas season. Phew, what a bummer. But whatever the reason, his heart or his shoes, he stood there on Christmas Eve hating the Whos, staring down from his cave with a sour, grinchy frown at the warm lighted windows below in their town. For he knew every Who down in Whoville beneath was busy now hanging a mistletoe wreath. And they're hanging their stockings, he snarled with a sneer. Tomorrow is Christmas, it's practically here. Then he growled with his Grinch fingers nervously drumming. I must find some way to stop Christmas from coming. For tomorrow, he knew. Oh man, the Grinch, looking down on Whoville, does not like what he sees. He feels Christmas is right around the corner, and he must figure out a way to stop it. Jeez, what a total Grinch. All the Who girls and boys would wake bright and early. They'd rush for their toys, and then, oh, the noise. Oh, the noise, 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 noise. That's one thing he hated. The noise, 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 noise. Wow, look at all the boys and girls from Whoville. They're just having a good time. They're playing all kinds of games. But the Grinch doesn't like it. He doesn't like all the noise. Is just a grumpy man. He's just a grumpy little Grinch. Then the Whos, young and old, would sit down to feast. And they'd feast, and they'd feast, and they'd feast, 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 feast. They would feast on Who pudding and rare Who roast beef, which was something the Grinch couldn't stand in the least. Man, look at that. Holy cow. We need to do a Food Friday right there, because you know Travel Man Dan loves feasting. Wow, look at this thing. And The Grinch, once again, is very unhappy for all the people in Whoville will continue to eat and feast and feast and feast and feast on Who pudding. Man, that looks like a delicious table full of yummy, scrumptious, delicious food. How could the Grinch be angry at that? And then they do something he liked least of all. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, would stand close together with Christmas bells ringing. They'd stand hand in hand, and the Whos would start singing. They'd sing and they'd sing, and they'd sing, 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 sing. And the more the Grinch thought of this Who Christmas sing, the more the Grinch thought, I must stop this whole thing. Why, for 53 years, I've put up with it now. I must stop Christmas from coming. But how? Ooh, so much. Look at these guys all down in Whoville. They're getting together, they're holding hands, and they are singing. And that is delightful if you ask me. I mean, who doesn't like a bunch of people in your town or your city holding hands and singing? Sounds awesome. But the Grinch is very unhappy, and he's thinking to himself, how do I stop Christmas from happening? Let's find out what happens. Then he got an idea. An awful idea. The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea. Oh man, just look at that sinister smirk. That face. He looks like he's up to something. Take a look at that face. That is an evil looking face. You can tell he is going to do something, and well, it's probably not going to be good for the people that live down in Whoville. I know just what to do, the Grinch laughed in his throat, and he made a quick Santa Claus hat and a coat, and he chuckled and clucked. What a great Grinchy trick. With this coat and this hat, I look just like Saint Nick. All I need is a reindeer. The Grinch looked around, but since reindeer are scarce, there was none to be found. Did that stop the old Grinch? No, the Grinch simply said, if I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead. So he called his dog Max. Then he took some red thread and he tied a big horn on the top of his head. Oh man, poor Max. Look at his plan. He has turned himself into Santa Claus. He's made himself a hat and a coat, and now he looks just like good old Saint Nick. And then if we look down here, because the reindeer are scarce, he went ahead and made his own reindeer by putting an antler on top of his dog Max's head. Bold, sinister. Then he loaded some bags and some old empty sacks on a ramshackle sleigh, and he hitched up old Max. Then the Grinch said, "Giddy up!" and the sleigh started down toward the homes where the Whos lay a snooze in their town. Uh-oh, here comes the Grinch, dressed up as Santa Claus on a sleigh. Look at poor Max, and they're headed for Whoville, where they're all fast asleep. What is going to happen? I'm really nervous. I'm really worried. I'm really scared that the Grinch is going to do something terrible. All their windows were dark. Quiet snow filled the air. All the Whos were all dreaming sweet dreams without care. When he came to the first little house on the square, "This is stop number 1, the old Grinchy Claus hissed, and he climbed to the roof, empty bags in his fist. Oh jeez, look at this. So you can see the Grinch, and he is dressed like Santa Claus. He's got an empty bag. He's about to hop down into the chimney, but look at the face on Max. He knows something's going on. Oh man, these poor people, they're all just sleeping away in their house. They have no idea what's about to happen. Then he slid down the chimney, a rather tight pinch. But if Santa could do it, then so could the Grinch. He got stuck only once, for a moment or two. Then he stuck his head out of the fireplace flue, where the little Who stockings all hung in a row. These stockings, he grinned, are the first things to go. Ah, man, Grinch, how could you be doing that? How could he be doing this? Terrible. Look at him sneaking down. He comes down the chimney. He sees a bunch of the stockings, and he is like, well, these are the first things I'm going to grab. But look over here, there's all the poor little Whos, and they're fast asleep. They have no idea what's about to hit them. Wake up, wake up. I wish I could just hop in this book and save them. Then he slithered and slunk with a smile most unpleasant around the room, and he took every present. Pop guns and bicycles, roller skates, drums, checkerboards, tricycles, popcorn, and plums. And he stuffed them in bags. Then the Grinch, very nimbly, stuffed all the bags, one by one, up the chimbley. Oh man, he took everything. Pop guns, bicycles, roller skates, plums, everything he could fit into them bags. And look at them, just shoving them right up the chimney, and away they go. The poor Whos that lived in this house have no idea what's about to happen when they wake up on Christmas and everything's gone. From the stockings to the bicycles to the plums. Then he slunk to the icebox. He took the Who's feast. He took the Who pudding. He took the roast beast. He cleaned out that icebox as quick as a flash. Why, that Grinch even took the last can of Who hash. Oh man. Why could... Look at this greedy Grinch. He's just right in there stealing everything he possibly can. He took everything. He doesn't even like Who Beast. He's just taking it. He's probably going to chuck it on the side of the mountain and it's just going to sit there. But no, he's got to take it from the fridge and run away with it. He even took the last can of Who hash. Then he stuffed all the food up the chimney with glee. And now, grinned the Grinch, I will stuff up the tree. Shh. I mean, this guy has no shame. No shame. Look at it. Took all the food. He's shoving it up the chimney. Now he's like, all right, I'm going back. I got to take the tree. Nothing, I mean nothing is going to be left in this house to celebrate Christmas. And the Grinch grabbed the tree and he started to shove when he heard a small sound like the coo of a dove. He turned around fast and he saw a small Who. Little Cindy Lou who was not more than 2. The Grinch had been caught by this tiny Who daughter, who got out of bed for a cup of cold water. She stared at the Grinch and said, Santa Claus, why? Why are you taking our Christmas tree? Why? Look at that. Little Cindy Lou. Cindy Lou is the smallest of the Who. She is only 2. And she caught the Grinch and she's like, well, Mr. Santa Claus, why are you taking our Christmas tree? Let's see what the Grinch has to say. But you know that old Grinch was so smart and so slick. He thought up a lie and he thought it up quick. Why, my sweet little tot, the fake Santa Claus lied. There's a light on this tree that won't light on one side. So I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there, then I'll bring it back here. And his fib fooled the child, then he patted her on her head, and he got her a drink and sent her to bed. And when Cindy Lou Who went to bed with her cup, he went to the chimney and stuffed the tree up. Jeez, what a real dirty scumbag, right? I mean, the Grinch lying to a 2-year-old Cindy Lou. Look at him. And look at that face on him. He's like, oh, there's a light on the other side that I must fix. I'm going to go take it over there, and then I'll bring it back. And, you know, Cindy Lou believes him. And look at, then he gives her a cup of water and sends her on her way back to bed so he can go about his mischievous, derelict. I get so mad at the Grinch when I see him just taking away the Christmas spirit and lying to kids. Then the last thing he took was the log for their fire. Then he went up the chimney himself, the old liar. On their walls he left nothing but hooks and some wire. And the one speck of food that he left in the house was a crumb that was even too small for a mouse. Oh man. First of all, look at the only thing he left are these hooks and wire along the wall. But then he said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and leave this crumb. But the crumb was so small, it wasn't even good for that mouse. Then he did the same thing to the other Who's houses, leaving crumbs much too small for the other Who's mouses. This dirty Grinch, man. He went to other houses, look at it, stole everything, left nothing but a little crumb for the mouse. And that crumb was so small that not even the mouse liked it. He just took everybody's stuff. I mean, what a thief. What a cold-hearted thief. It was 15:15, all the Who's still abed, all the Who's still a snooze, when he packed up his sled, packed it up with their presents, the ribbons, the wrappings, the tags, and the tinsel, the trimmings, the trappings. Look at this greedy Grinch. Alright, just a total thief. That is absolutely terrible. He just went and burglarized every home inside of Whoville, and he took all of their Christmas stuff, everything that they were going to eat, all the decorations, all the presents that were going to the kids, packed it up on his sleigh, had Max, the dog who's dressed as a reindeer, shuck back up the hill, the mountain, wherever his little cave is, and his cold heart could grow. 3,000 feet up the side of Mount Crumpet, he rode with his load to the tip-top to dump it, pooh-pooh to the Who's. He was grinchiously humming, they're finding out now, no Christmas is coming. They're just waking up, I know just what I'll do, their mouths will hang open a minute or two. Then the Who's down in Whoville will all cry boo-hoo. Oh man, now, see, now the Grinch, he has no purpose other than just because he hates Christmas to destroy it for others. And he has now brought all the stuff that he robbed, that he took out of people's homes, brought it to the very tip top of Mount Crumpet, and he's about to just push it on over and dump it. And well, I'm sure it's probably going to fall a couple hundred feet, maybe explode down at the bottom. I don't know. Just, it's not going to be inside the homes of the Whoville people. That's a noise, grinned the Grinch. That I simply must hear. So he paused, and the Grinch put his hand to his ear. And he did hear a sound rising over the snow. It started in low, and then started to grow. There it is. He is hoping for the boo-hoos. Look at him. He's just not satisfied. He hears it. He just wants to wait until he hears those boo-hoos before he tips over all their stuff. And he's ready for it. Even little Max is ready. What's that sound? Huh? What's that sound? He's so excited. But the sound wasn't sad. Why? This sound sounded merry. It couldn't be so. But it was merry. Very! He started down at Whoville. The Grinch popped his eyes, then shook. What he saw was a shocking surprise. What? What is going on? I can't believe what I'm seeing. This sounds very merry. What is happening? Look at the Grinch. He is in utter shock. He can't believe what he is hearing, right? He thought he was going to hear him boo-hooing, but the sound that he heard was, well, it was quite merry. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, was singing without any presents at all. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came. Somehow or other, it came just the same. What? Look at that! Holy cow! Every Who down in Whoville That is wonderful. Every Who down in Whoville is holding hands and singing Christmas songs. That is amazing. And you know how much the Grinch hates those Christmas songs. He hates the people of Whoville when they sing. So he is PO'd. Wow. And the Grinch, with his Grinch feet ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling. How could it be so? It came without ribbons. It came without tags. It came without packages, boxes, or bags. And he puzzled 3 hours, till his puzzler was sore. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more. Wow. Do we have a change? I think so. The Grinch, he's like, well, I have an idea. You know, maybe Christmas isn't all about material things and what comes from a store and, you know, just going out and buying things and giving presents and receiving presents. Maybe it's something much, much more. And what happened then? Well, in Whoville they say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. And the minute his heart didn't feel quite so tight, he whizzed with his load through the bright morning light, and he brought back the toys and the food for the feast. And he... Look at that! Check out the Grinch! Look how awesome he is! He figured it out! He was like, you know what? What am I doing? Why am I trying to bring down this holiday spirit? These people are ecstatic. They're excited. They're happy. They don't need no presents. They don't need no feast. They're out there with themselves, and they're going ahead and giving that good energy off their heart or the holiday spirit. And wow, he figured it out, and he's on his way back down Mount Crumpin. He's going to go ahead and return everything. Let's see what happens. And he himself, the Grinch, carved the roast beast. Holy cow, check it out. He is now carving the roast beast. That is amazing. The end. And wow, can you believe it? At the end, the Grinch finally, after 53 years, figured out, boy, Christmas is actually really special, and the people of Whoville are beautiful, how they all come together. They don't need material possessions and these monetary gains of all these presents and things. And well, he just saw that it was something inside your heart, inside your spirit, to love one another and to really celebrate the holiday by coming together, holding hands, singing. And I think that really shook things up with the Grinch. He realized, you know what? What am I doing? Wow, I absolutely love this book. I love the message. I love the story. It's just so powerful and really brings home that holiday spirit. Well, you saw the people in Whoville. They didn't need all their presents. They didn't need their feast. They didn't need anything except for each other. They were able to hold hands, sing songs, and feel the warmth of the holiday season and the love and passion for each other and for, well, I guess, who kind, if you will. And they were actually able to reverse the feelings of the Grinch, which is so important, because before he didn't really understand it. He thought it was a lot about material possessions and what you buy at a store and how expensive things cost around the holidays, because that is a real thing. But the true essence of Christmas and holidays is really just about being with your loved ones, giving that pure joy, that passion that you have for the love of human beings. Really good story. Really love the message written by DR.SEUSS. I hope that you enjoy this. If you haven't already and you like what I'm doing, could you go ahead and subscribe to the channel right there, ring the bell so that you're notified when new videos come out each and every week. Go ahead and give me a like on this video. Drop down in the comment section below what you liked about it. Well, if you can make any suggestions about any future books that you would like to see be read on Reading Man Dan, I'd love to hear from you. I hope you saw something cool and fun. And although the Grinch was a bad dude, he had that sleigh packed up and he put that weird little antler on poor Max, and that was kind of interesting to see. I hope you learned something new about this, and especially the lesson that DR.SEUSS was trying to teach us, how that The Christmas holiday isn't about gifts and possession. That's actually about being loved by one another and the holiday cheer that we can bring with absolutely nothing but ourselves. But most of all, I hope you were inspired to go ahead and read this book yourself, or watch this video again, or watch the movie, or watch the classic cartoon. Whatever, I hope you get your fill this holiday season and you check out DR.SEUSS's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Great story, unbelievable message, and I absolutely loved reading it too. So, I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas if you celebrate Christmas. If you don't, Happy Holidays. But to everyone, I wish you much love, joy, happiness, and peacefulness in the new coming year. I hope you have the best year of your life next year. And thanks again for watching. Really appreciate the support. I'm Travel Man Dan, aka Reading Man Dan. And remember, it's a big world out there. Make sure you see every bit of it.